Hey, hello, leaders. Welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that equips leaders to lead their way through the challenges they face every day. So today, I want to talk about what decisions a leader can and cannot make. I mean, if you really think about it, and what brought this up is we recently had a conversation in one of the mastermind groups that I'm in about the mandate that leaders are being asked to enforce in some of their companies, i.e., the hottest and most current one now is the mask mandate. So, we talked about, is it right? Is it legal? Can they do it? And we had a really good conversation, and we looked up some laws and bills. And, the bottom line is that the company does and can mandate that legally if they choose to. Now, I brought up the fact that, hey, if somebody's mandated and they don't want to and they get fired over it, do they have a legitimate lawsuit? Can they bring up a lawsuit against the company? And, it was interesting because I don't know technically, but I think that somebody said in the group that they think in one state it did and the court threw it out, meaning that the company was okay with firing the person. So what's your views on this? Personally, I'll be honest, I'm not afraid to share whether I have received or not received the vaccine. I received the vaccine the first day that I found out I was eligible. And actually, it was a little bit before most people because I teach at Webster University in the evening. So teachers and professors and medical teachers were one of those high-risk people that were able to get it earlier. So I think I got it in March of 2021. And I could have got it before then, but I didn't know that. Now, you got to understand, I had spent 26 years in the military. And in the military, we were like a pincushion. If we were deploying to some area, and a lot of times, even if we weren't, we had to get certain vaccines. Like it was mandatory for us to get the flu shot every year. It was mandatory for us to get the other vaccines that come up periodically. And there was no question asked. I just did it. So in this case, when I found out there was a vaccine, I took it, even though it was only an emergency issued by the FDA. Now, I was fine. Now, I realized that some people are adamantly against the vaccine. And I get that, I also realize that people are adamantly for the vaccine. And this is a big conflict area right now, big conflicting area that you might deal with in your office or organization. Now, personally, I believe in freedom of choice. I believe this is the United States where I live, and I believe we ought to have our choice because I think we should have the choice whether or not we get the vaccine and whether or not we want to wear masks. I personally don't wear masks very often anymore, unless, if I'm traveling, if I'm in the airport, I wear a mask. I don't gripe about it. I just put it on. I wear it. It's not that uncomfortable to me, but to each his own. I understand how people can be totally against this. I understand how people can say, hey, a mandate of this is wrong because there's not enough evidence in it. Now, my oldest daughter is a pre-med student, and she educated me a little bit about the vaccine. And they have been doing research apparently on this type of vaccine for quite a while because they don't actually inject COVID into you, apparently. And I'm not going to get into that because I don't know all the details. However, it is a decision that as leaders, we need to be prepared to make or decide upon, or how we're going to talk to our people about it. And naturally, if you take one side or the other, the opposite side, it appears that they're going to be ticked off. Personally, I'm either way. You can get it or you can't get it. I don't like the mandate. I know people that have died from COVID. I know people that have gotten really sick from COVID. The ones that I know of that have died personally have not been vaccinated. But I know I've heard horror stories and read horror stories about people getting the vaccine and really just, getting sick and dying shortly afterwards. I think that's a minimum, but who knows? Am I less apt to get the vaccine or to get the COVID virus now that I'm vaccinated? I don't know. I just know that I'm not a medical expert. And if a medical expert tells me to get it, I'm going to get it. There's one doctor in particular that I admire more than any other doctor. I think he's the smartest doctor I've ever met. I mean, I could go into his office and say, hey, I got this going on. And he's like, it's this, or it's this, or it's this. And I've even been seeing specialists, like for my I had plantar fasciitis in my foot one time. I was seeing a foot doctor, a specialist, and I would run things by this other doctor. And this other doctor would be like, you should try this. And of course, I didn't try it until I ran it by the other doctor. But once I went to the specialist, they're like, yeah, that wouldn't hurt and it might help. And it did help. So a year and a half with a specialist, and this other general, well, he's a specialist too in another area, but he knew exactly what could help me where the foot doctor, the specialist in there, didn't. So I don't know. I guess that's a little bit of a ramble, but I just wanted to come on here and speak freely and tell you that this is a tough decision. So if it's something that you're struggling with, it's okay to struggle with. Talk to your people about it. Talk to them in a civil manner where people don't get all fired up, and keep it civil. Lead the way there. And if you are going to enforce the mandate for vaccines, have proof. Have the facts that you know for sure the facts are. Because truthfully, I don't know what to read and what to believe. And I think that no matter what side of the fence that you're camping out on here, the mandate or the not mandating, you could find just as much proof online to support either side. I know this because I'm in a group of guys that most of them are anti-vaccine, and, they throw information at me every week. Is that the truth? I don't know. Is the vaccine going to help? I don't know. I know I got it. I know I had no ill effects. I know everybody in my family got it and had no ill effects, besides being sick like 18 hours after the second one, or no, about 12 hours after the second one. We got pretty sick for about 12 to 18 hours, and then it was gone, and it was good. And the sickness, it wasn't like we got a cold. It was just, we just ached all over and tired. I mean, I slept for, I think, 12 hours once I started getting sick straight, and I never do that. So anyway, it is a decision. It is a tough decision. It's up to you ultimately. And I don't know. Should the government have the right to mandate this? That's a tough one, but I think the government has to collaborate. And I think our political parties really need to come together on this and have their own people who are supporting their way. But even then, I'm not sure that the government has the right to mandate, because that is taking away a freedom of somebody. So it's a slippery slope, and it's one of those that, pardon my quote here, but you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, by somebody. And it's just like on here. Some of the things I say you're going to agree with. Some of the things I say you're going to disagree with. And it's okay. It's okay to disagree with me or anybody else. Because as a leader, if you are not disagreeing with somebody ever, like if you are totally agreeing with everything you ever hear and everybody you ever talk to, man, you're not standing up. You're not being truthful to yourself or to them. Because sometimes we get that feeling, just that feeling like, man, this is wrong. And a lot of times those gut feelings are right. Now with me, The COVID shot, again, military, we got every vaccine imaginable. So it was like, yeah, why not? I'll just get it. If there's a possibility that it might be able to help me, and I think vaccines are capable of helping, even if it minimizes COVID, that I get it if and when I do get it, I'm going to take that chance. If you don't like taking that chance, or if you're totally against that, that's okay. If I see you somewhere and I'm wearing a mask and you're not, that's your prerogative. That's just my 2 cents on this. And I know it's worth it to me, but I think everybody should have that freedom. If you disagree with that, let me know. Tell me your point of view, but it's okay. I'm not mad that you disagree with it. I got it. I don't think everybody should be mandated. And, it is what it is. So that's it for today. As always, thank you for listening to this. It's a great pleasure and an honor that you listen and watch, and pass this along. If you know somebody who is a mid-level leader specifically, and they just really want that continuous learning to continually be a better leader, and if they just want a community to be with, like-minded people, go ahead and follow me, share it, and pass it on. As always, run to your challenges. We'll see you.